Hi, it's Lucy from budgetingandplanning.co.uk and Donna from elevatefs.org, and we're here talking about all things mortgage, and we have a 10-part mini-series. This actually is number 8, and I was really curious about this one because when you split up with a partner, you know, you have got all the emotions running really high, and then you've got all the practical concerns, all the stuff you don't want to have to deal with, but you're going to have to deal with it. So let's just say you're in a partnership, one of you wants to come off that joint mortgage, leaving one of you in that same home with that one mortgage. How does that work?
So ultimately, if we have a joint mortgage in place, the lender's going to want to ensure that it is affordable for that person to remain on there by themselves. Yeah. So obviously they will look at that person's income. But there's other things that we can factor into towards affordability, such as spousal payment, for instance, child maintenance paid by the partner, an element of benefits, child benefits, tax credits. These can all be factored in and you know, calculated towards the affordability of the mortgage.
That's really interesting. I didn't know that.
Yeah. So there's all those things that can, you know, that can increase it, and that might make it more affordable. But again, it's about sitting down, knowing your budget, and writing down all your income from all the different directions. Yeah. Because that is ultimately what the lender's going to want to have visibility of. You might have to provide statements and details and copies of letters from any benefit agencies. Yeah. But ultimately, providing it's all affordable for that single person, then they will remove the second applicant.
So when you say remove, is it literally just an administrative removal sort of thing? Is there anything else that...
From your point of view, yeah, it is removing somebody from the mortgage. There could be an element of transfer of equity in there, right? Which may be dealt with by the separation terms of agreed. Yeah. But ultimately, providing that you can cover the outstanding mortgage balance. Now, the person coming off the mortgage might say, well, I've paid it for a period of time. There's a percentage of equity in that property. I want
to take that 50 grand or whatever it is out of the property. Then,
so if, for instance, your income doesn't stretch to cover the outstanding mortgage balance plus the additional to buy that second person out, there could be an agreement there between you that states that when, for instance, the youngest child is no longer independent, I'm going to sell the property, and then at that time I will pay you your 50,000. You can come to one of those types of agreements. But in terms of the lender, all they're concerned about is that loan mortgage, you know, is that loan amount that's outstanding today, is that affordable?
Is it going to be paid back?
Yeah. And can you manage it by yourself? If you can't, and if everything considered, the lender says no, ultimately the second person has to remain on that mortgage, or you have to consider selling. That's your other option.
Of course, it gets complicated, doesn't it? But let's just say it's all clean and all friends, and it all, you know, amicably ending. Then of course it makes life obviously a lot easier. And presumably then the person that's come off that joint mortgage, therefore has no mortgage, they can reapply on their own or whatever their situation is for a mortgage, you know, because they won't have one.
That's right. Yeah, indeed. And if, let's say, you know, he was unable, you know, the spouse had to remain on your mortgage with you, and they met somebody else and wanted to get onto a mortgage with their new partner, the lender will take into consideration the fact that they already have a mortgage, so that will hinder future plans potentially.
Will that, and I don't know if you can even answer this one, but if that is the case as a joint mortgage, is there a legal understanding that it's kind of a 50-50? Is that how that works?
Well, in the lender's eyes, you're both jointly and severally liable for that mortgage. Right. So if the ex or you know, the person you're splitting from, they don't pay their share, let's say you agree 50-50, if they don't pay it, then it's on you to continue the payments. So it's quite scary stuff. Obviously, if you can remain amicable, that's the best way forward. And but in answer to your original question, you can look at factoring, you know, your maintenance, child benefit. Even again, look at extending the term of the mortgage to make it a bit more affordable. You know, using all that sort of income together.
That's really interesting, actually, because again, it's like all these things, there's so many life complications, aren't there? But there's nearly always a way, or 2 or 3 variations of options that, you know, you can take to make life okay for yourself. And I will just say there, and I can imagine if you are then left to that mortgage and everything else on your own, it can feel, particularly if you've not been the one invariably, you know, the one in charge of doing all the life admin and stuff, because, you know, most relationships is kind of one or the other does certain things, blue jobs and pink jobs or whatever they are, then it can be really daunting. So actually one of the well, actually several of them, the templates that I've created includes elements of having income from other sources. So if you have got the child benefit, the tax credit, the this, that and the other, my mind just thinking about that is going, oh my God, that's this, they're different days, they're different weekly or monthly pay. It's a minefield, right? It's going to make you feel really confused. So I would definitely recommend, if only on pen and paper, but do use one of my templates, because it will actually give you the ability to plot in month by month or week by week if you prefer, when those payments are hitting down. So it's just going to help just to clear things up for you in your mind, because it can get very confusing, I would imagine.
Yeah, definitely. The key is knowing your budget, knowing what income you've got, and how much you can afford towards a mortgage every month.
Yeah, lovely. Thank you. So it's Lucy from budgetingandplanning.co.uk and Donna from elevatefs.org.